Securities and Exchange Commission has joined the Central Bank and the Insurance Commission, asking industry operators to raise their regulatory capital to new levels. The SEC today announced a sweeping new capital rules for registrars, broker-dealer firms, digital asset exchanges, trustees, investment banks, and other category of licensed institutions. Joining me for his first live TV interview on the latest development is the Director General of the SEC himself, Dr. Emomotimi Agama. Good evening, Mr. Director General. Thank you very much for granting us this very interview tonight, as just this announcement just came out. What are the considerations for the recapitalization regulatory directive at this time?
Well, thank you for having me again, Boson. And it is really interesting to be here in a new year and the first month of the year. So happy new year to both the viewers and indeed the Nigerian investors. It is very critical that at this stage of the life of the market, we must do certain things and do them right. And one of those things is actually to shore up our regulatory capital. Because the regulatory capital is actually the DNA of every capital market operator. And why do we have to do that? We have to do that because we need strong capital market operators that will be able to take up the risk associated with the market and the future of the market. You need a strong capital market operator that will be able to absorb risk by virtue of the capital it holds. You need a strong capital market operator that needs a skin in the game. You need a strong capital market operator that will, on the premise of their capital, be able to do economics of scale. You need a strong capital market operator that will do big ticket towards the development of the Nigerian capital market and, more importantly, the infrastructural need of this nation. So it is very clear that our action is clearly to put Nigeria on the map of growth. And instructively, Nigeria's capital markets just attained 100 trillion naira in market capitalization. It is very easy to move up, but it's also very difficult to stay up. And it is only with a good capital base that people can stay up and move the market further.
Okay, so Mr. Director General, what we're seeing right now is that for anyone to play in the market, you need at least minimum of ₦1 billion naira. So this is looking like a billionaire boys club, in the manner of speaking. So you come into the market, you need at least ₦1 billion naira. And that's what this looks like. So do you think the level of capitalization required now, it will be enough to move forward from here as we see the banking sector recapitalization ending in March, and insurance folks will end up theirs later in the year?
So let me correct that. It is not a billion naira club. You understand that the minimum, we have 600 million. We have other, lower fractions of market capitalization. So putting it as a billion will be a misrepresentation of the actual facts. The figures are all there on our website. But that's without, mixing words on your questions. What is very clear is that the SEC and the capital market is actually the last of the financial sector institutions to actually raise their capital. We have done our work, systematically looking at international, other jurisdictions, looking at our local context, and looking at the possibility of getting this done. When you take an average analysis of the current shareholders' funds of most of the capital market operators as we speak, they have actually met over 70% of them have actually met the capital requirement we are speaking to. So what we are doing is just a little shore up, to make sure that they are stronger, and of course, have strong regulatory base, have strong economic capital, and indeed be able to do things that others can do, making sure that we push this economy the way we should, and given the amount of talent that we have, and given the amount of capital that we also have. We are very sure that our capital market operators will be able to meet that. Besides that, you also will agree with me that a 15-month, period for this to happen is quite some time. And that time will actually be enough for capital market operators to meet their requirements. All they need to do is to do what they know how to do. They are specialists in capital raising, and now it is their time to do capital raising even for themselves.
Yeah, Mr. Director General, yes, I agree with you. different categories. But again, the top 5, when you talk about a market, were those ones in the billionaire threshold, issuing houses from 200 million to 7 billion. That's a huge movement in terms of numbers. Fund managers go to 5 billion, broker dealers 2 billion, trustees 2 billion, registrars 2.5 billion. If you are doing deals proprietary, it's ₦1 billion. And these are the key institutions in the market. I'm sure you'll agree with me, Mr. Director General. But also for digital assets exchanges, they would need ₦2 billion minimum.
Yes, so again, I want to correct that. Issuing house is 200 million naira and underwriting is 500 million naira. So we're saying that if you want to run an issuing house business, that is an investment bank of repute, 200 million naira, that's the minimum capital. And importantly, I need to make this clear even to investors and listeners, that when we say minimum capital, we are saying that it is money that you hold in your business to run your business. It is not money that you bring to the SEC. It's not money that you pay to government. It's your own money. We are saying have a larger heart to be able to do bigger business and make more money. And that, for me, is the best way to go in lifting people out of the current state that they are in. We're saying take the strides and deal with the issues. You want to build railways, you want to fund transportation, you want to fund health system. There's so much that you can do. Nigeria is an infrastructural hub, and that is what is required, funding, money. And that can only happen when you are big enough to do this. You are actually addressed the way you dress. And that clearly is the very fact that we're trying to pursue here. Now, the capital market has come of age. It is no longer business as usual. It is a time where we now need to necessarily introduce enough technology to hasten the things that we need to do, to actually bring about investors' confidence and making sure that people understand and appreciate the value of the capital market operator. We want to make sure that Nigerians believe in the capital market operator in Nigeria.
All right, Mr. Director General, you think that between now and June next year is enough time for this capital to be available, to be verified, and signed on by the SEC? You think the threshold is adequate?
It is very important, again, to emphasize that capital market operators are experts. They are about the most talented in the financial system. And as such, what is their main function? One of the major functions is structuring of products. This certainly is something within their power to do. I believe in them, I trust them, and I know their capacity. And because I know their capacity, I know they're able to do it.
Okay, so let's just try to summarize. What's your outlook on the markets for the new year 2026? This is you, the SEC, flagging off the new year with recapitalization. What else is under the hat you're putting on for the year?
Yeah, we didn't start the new year. We didn't start the new year with recapitalization. We actually started the new year by visiting the Inspector General of Police. And what did we intend to do? We intend to form a cooperation and a collaboration towards better enforcement, increasing transparency, and making sure that the Nigerian investor is safe. That is how we started the year. However, recapitalization also comes in to say we want stronger institutions, institutions that will do bigger things, institutions that will help development of the Nigerian economy. Mr. President, whom is my role model any day, anytime, has said Nigerians should invest in the market. And if the Nigerians that we want to invest in the market are not sure of the institutions that will run this investment, then we'll be in trouble. And that is why it's important that we strengthen these institutions. We encourage them. We are a listening SEC. Stakeholders consultation, we're done. We asked questions, and of course, we did research. And because we have done all of this, putting them together, the synthesis of what we have done is actually the market capitalization that we issued. However, it is very important to note that one or two typographical errors does exist, especially for the asset managers. We're saying that if you are a wholesale asset manager and you have over 100 billion in asset under management, your minimum capital should be 10 billion. And that is important to raise here in order for people to understand that the SEC means well, and we will always do everything to work together with capital market operators, bringing an economy that is second to none. We want to be champions in Africa and indeed the world, and this is the way to go.
We appreciate this engagement with you as always, Mr. Director General, Dr. Emomotimi Agama. All the best, and do have a great evening, of course, in this very big development in the new year. Thank you so much. We'll be touching base with you as this recapitalization exercise go into full gear. Thank you so much.